Hello pilots of the internet and welcome to Foldable Flight. My name is Kyle and this is where I teach you how to fold paper airplanes that will blow your mind. This video is sponsored by Stampin' Storage. More about them in a minute. In this video I'm going to teach you how to make Spinner, which is a beautiful paper airplane that spirals as it flies. You can see the fins bend in opposite directions and force it in that spiraling flight pattern. A really cool thing about this plane is you can fold it two different ways, and you can see these are mirror images of each other and they actually spiral in opposite directions. And because of that, I have designed two different templates for this plane. You can see here the first one, which I think is absolutely one of my best templates yet. I think it looks so cool. And the second one, which pairs very well with it. I think it's also awesome, and these are just cool complements to each other. And you can get these and be able to download and print them off by supporting me on patreon.com/foldableflight. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video because I'll be giving you a sneak peek of an awesome plane that I'm working on, but not quite ready to publish yet. With that, let's get to it. Now very quickly, before I teach you how to fold this plane, let me show you something absolutely awesome about my new studio. So first off, hello. Like I just said, I am setting up a new studio because I just moved, and there's something I am particularly excited about. There are a bunch of things going on over here, but I want to talk about Stampin' Storage because my paper is now immaculately organized. I'm going to show you a before shot so you can see this was an absolute disaster. With the help of Stampin' Storage, we have solved that problem. I am blown away by the quality. You can see these fit perfectly within my IKEA shelving unit, and you can get a bunch of different sizes for a bunch of different purposes. Click on that affiliate link in the description below and check them out. And with that, let's get back to the video. All you will need in order to fold this plane is an 8.5 by 11 or A4 sheet of paper, and I want you to pay attention if you're using the template. Make sure that you begin correctly because you can see our first step is we're going to be folding along the diagonal from corner to corner, but the corners that you're folding between are different depending on which template you use. So flip your template over, fold along the indicated line, and make sure that your colored side of your paper is on the outside at this step. Now for the sake of this tutorial, let's just use a regular colored sheet of paper, and I'm going to begin by folding from this corner to this corner. I like to kind of tack my corners into place first, so you can see I'm focusing on this top corner up here. I just tack that into place. I'll tack this corner into place down here. And that makes it a lot easier to then just kind of gently flatten the paper between them. Make sure that my crease is nice and accurate. And it should look like this. Then you go ahead and open your paper up, and now we're actually going to fold it so that this corner here lands on this corner. So I'm going to rotate it, pull that toward myself like this, and crease. And when we open the paper up, we're going to be looking at the crease we just made here, and I want to fold this edge here to land along that crease. I'll rotate the paper, and now I want to fold this edge here to land along that crease as well, and pay attention to the shape here that I'm creating. Your paper should look just like mine. Okay, and now we're going to fold right along the edge of this layer here. So I'm pulling this whole thing down right along that edge. And this crease here should land between these two layers. Like so. Rotate it, do the same thing on this side. And open the paper up and position it like so. I'm now going to fold this top edge here to land along this bottom edge. And I will open the paper up. And I want to fold along this center crease here. I'm taking the top point to the bottom point, and I want to make sure I land this crease here right on top of that crease there. Right like that. And you can see the crease I just made should go through the intersection of these other creases. Now, I'm going to fold the plane back in half like this. And I want you to see this crease here should be a valley crease. And if it's not, you can open this up and fold right along that existing diagonal just to reinforce that. And then we'll fold in half again. And you can see this should be a valley crease. This should be a mountain crease. And we're basically grabbing the top edge of this and we're going to swing our hands toward each other like this. And you can see this little triangle gets pushed to the right on this side. And on the other side, the triangle here is getting pushed in the opposite direction. So it kind of looks like that from the top as you swivel it down like so. And then you can lie it flat. And it should look like this. On this side, looks like that on the other side. So, I'm now going to rotate it so that this point is facing toward me. And I want to fold this edge here to land on this edge here. And you'll notice as I do that, on the left here, this pocket's going to open up. And that's going to make this a little bit tricky, but try to line that edge up as best you can. And you're going to crease all the way into the pocket. So I'll go ahead and make the crease and then show you. You can see my crease goes all the way to this corner here, which is the inside point of that pocket. And then I'm going to fan the pocket open. And I want to swing this until it catches at this point right here. I'm swinging that, and that's where I'm going to crease from this point to that point. And I'll flatten the pocket like so. So we can repeat all those steps on the other side now. So just flip it over with this point facing you. Pull this edge here to that edge there. Again, the pocket's not going to cooperate very much. It's going to open up. But try to line that edge up as much as you can. Crease all the way into the pocket. That's that point right there. And then fan the pocket open and crease from this point to that point there. And then you can flatten the pocket. Okay, and now I'll position it like so. And I want to flip this little triangular tab I have in the opposite direction, and my crease should go from this point here to that point there. There are a lot of layers, so you can kind of roll it as you do that to control it nicely. And we'll just flip the paper over, do the same thing on this side. And on both sides, I'll just push those back into their original orientation. And now you can see I have this crease, and that serves as a center crease that I can fold this edge to land on. So again, I'm rolling these because there are a lot of layers here. I'm rolling it to try to keep this nice and accurate. And I'm landing this edge right on my center crease. It should look like that. And then you'll flip your paper over and fold this edge to land on the center crease. And your plane should look like this. I'm now going to open this up, flip it over, open this side up, and I'll rotate it back into this orientation. And I want you to pay attention to this crease right here. I'll pull that. So you can see you've got this little diagonal crease here that runs parallel to this edge. And I want you to open this pocket up along that crease. And then you'll see in the pocket you have another diagonal crease, and I'm going to reach behind the pocket here to kind of enforce that. You can see this diagonal crease right here that meets this crease in the point of that pocket. And you're going to be folding on both of those creases simultaneously as you pull this forward. But there's more than that, so wait before you start. As you do that, you're going to need to kind of push this spine right here flat and reverse it like so. And then you'll notice once you do that, once this becomes kind of a bowl shape here, then you can start pulling forward on this crease. And you're going to swing that whole thing forward just like that. And you want to land this new crease you're going to make right along this edge. And it should look like that. Now I'm going to open this tab up, and you can see I've got a little triangle right here, and I'm just going to fold that triangle along an existing crease in the opposite direction. Then I'll lie this flat, tuck this little edge into my pocket here, and then I'm going to fold this whole thing on the existing crease I've got here to land on my center crease. Okay, I'll flip the paper over and I'm going to repeat all of those steps on this side. So I'm looking first for this little diagonal crease right there, pulling that open. And you can see I've got a diagonal crease inside this pocket. I can reach behind here to poke that out until I'm folding along that crease as well. And as I start to swing forward, I need to push this flat, this spine right here, and flip it in the opposite direction. And now I can swivel and fold on this crease as well. I'm pushing the whole thing forward, and I'm going to create a new edge that lands right on that edge there. Now I'll go ahead and open this up just enough to see this little triangle, fold it on that existing crease, lay this down again. So again, you can see the triangle's pointing in that direction. Lay this down and tuck this little edge here into the pocket. And now I'm going to fold this whole thing in on that existing crease to my center crease. Just like so. And now I can flip this in the opposite direction, and I'm going to tuck this triangle over every layer except the very top layer. So you can see we have this pocket in here. This goes over everything else into that pocket like so, and locks everything together. And I'll do the same thing here. I'm flipping this tab into that pocket. And now all that's left to do, you can see you have this little kind of fin in the back, and we're going to fold it right along the edge of this top layer like so. You can flatten that out, flip it over, and fold this fin along the top edge there. And there you go. So an important thing to the flight characteristics of this plane is how far you bend these tail fins. You can see they point in opposite directions. That's what makes it spiral as it flies. And if you put them too far, it will have a lot of drag. It won't fly very far, but it'll spiral really tightly. If you don't put them far enough, then it may just not even fly properly and crash. So you got to find the sweet spot where it spirals really tightly and still can fly a great distance as well, because it's not generating too much drag. So something like that should work well for you. And with that said, let me give you a sneak peek at an awesome plane I've been working on. Now, as you can see, I have been folding a ton of different versions of this plane. I think this one looks the coolest, so let's get the others out of the way. I've been folding one after another because I'm actually having a bit of a challenge here getting this plane to fly the way I want. But you can tell that it looks absolutely amazing. It's got those dual prongs that are prominent features on Sentry and Spectre from my book, and it's just so aggressive looking. I absolutely love it. So I'm hoping that I can get to a point where this plane is ready to publish. So let me know in the comments, first off, do you like this plane? And second off, what would you call this if I do get it to the point where I'm ready to make a video on it? And with that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.